several bad to me. Don't stop cause I've been chasing around. 風を抜き去って届かせるこの想い。戦いから逃げてた真面目さにさよならさ。まだ甘くはない青い果実でしょう。瞳を静かに閉じ小さな種を握って今走り出せば届くはずこの想い。
俺はハイヤの誇りを持った囚人だ。
淡く実らせたい青い果実でしょう。Don't stop cause I've been chasing around。風を抜き去って届かせるこの想い。
頭に来るぜ。戦いが大好きで優しいサイヤ人なんてよ。頑張れカカロット、お前がナンバーワンだ。
今日からは今日からの明日からは明日からの新しいストーリー刻めばいいでしょう。 Can't please give some bad to me. Don't stop cause I've been chasing around. 風を抜き去って届かせるこの想い。戦いから逃げてた真面目さにさよならさ。まだ甘くはない青い果実でしょう。瞳を静かに閉じ小さな種を握って今走り出せば届くはずこの想い。
俺はハイヤの誇りを持った囚人だ。
淡く実らせたい青い果実でしょう。Don't stop cause I've been chasing around。風を抜き去って届かせるこの想い。示して自然にブレーキがかかる。ちょっと寄り道していこうかなんて気まぐれな大人たちの気まぐれな遊び方に惑わされて進むのを忘れてた。No way
Okay, welcome back to none other than your Iron Princeton. We'll give it for about 5 minutes, give or take. So stand by, grab some popcorn, grab some snacks, some drinks, whatever you desire, whatever your pleasures are. The show again, of course, begin as it is written momentarily.
後ろなんか見ずに走り続けてきたけど知らぬ間にやばい上手に流されていたんだ星を見ませ裸のままの欲望で僕はちっぽけな青い果実でしょ勇気をねじ出せ今の現実に満足したら届かないこの想い
頭に来るぜ。戦いが大好きで優しいサイヤ人なんてよ。頑張れカカロット、お前がナンバーワンだ。
今日からは今日からの明日からは明日からの新しいストーリー刻めばいいでしょう Can't please give some back to me Don't stop cause I've been chasing around 風を抜き去って届かせるこの想い戦いから逃げてたマジでさえさよならさまだ甘くはない青い果実でしょ瞳の静かに閉じ小さな種を握って今走り出せば届くはずこの想い
俺はサイヤの誇りを持った囚人だ。
淡く実らせたい青い果実でしょ Don't stop cause I've been chasing around 風を抜き去って届かせるこの想い
Alright then. Has joined. Again. In. Large screen of this. Second or so. You missed the latest chapter. Well, you missed a lot of Shizen. That's all I can say. So, still continue watching this stream or just go and bloody watch that one first? Well, technically listen to it first. Prior to viewing this one. So yeah. Ooh, big plans. Ooh, couple of princely figures on the way. And I love saying momentarily. A bit too much. Kind of like irony. Oh, the irony this, the irony that. The irony prince. Not a nickname. Give yours. Princely truly. Momentarily. Irony. Princely. Yeah, those three I use quite a bit. Also that I care or like to share. Okay, music is as I left it the other day. Goodbye. That's Steenie. That's my throne. Now. When a sudden destruction came into my life, the legend of the god destruction, by none other than my little sis from the Philippines, the lonely Nixie. She has written countless of other princely stories. This is just one of many. And kind of teaser, I have mentioned it before, PT is on its way. I personally call Princely Tour. So Dragon Ball PT Dragon Ball Princely Tour. Not that she named that. The Grand Tour. Oh, the bloody... I shouldn't say that word, but... Oh, Goku time! Yes. Now, Chapter 6! Vegeta and the King of All. Oh, the Prince and the King of All. Summary as always, provided. Beerus heard from Whis about the oath that Vegeta made, and he wasn't pleased at all. Challenged Vegeta to a sparring match to prove the impossibility of Vegeta's ambition. But it seems he was in for a big surprise. While Whis and Beerus were talking about continuous Vegeta's growth and power, they received a frightening call from none other than the fearsome King of All, Zen, who wants all gods to come over the palace and play a game that might place their universe in great peril. Vegeta finally meets the deities of all 12 universes and the ruler of the multiverse. This is part 6 of Vegeta's backstory. It centers around his mortal life before he became the god of destruction of the 7th universe. Notes at the end of the chapter. So, yes, I know you have like spelling correct and all that these days, but I have to give props. And yeah, you could get as biased or whatever. I have rarely seen any spelling mistakes in it. Everything is clear, concise, precisely on point. Makes for fantastic reading. I myself has a knack of also writing, not a fan one, but I was writing a story on the side. Potentially may finish one day, but at this stage, I might just actually make a memoir. Memoir of the Crown Prince of Iron. Oh god. Alright. This one is nice. To save this. The reference, but potential thumbnail. Okay, so let's... Yep. Crown Prince. Yeah. Crown. What? As I have my own. Oh, I don't know if you can say this. Say Crown Prince of Universe 7. Alright then. Save that. No idea if you can see that or not. You laugh. Mike. Yes, man. Nothing to chance, people. Yeah. That's Mike. Okay. Beautiful. We're on point. Get this out underway for the next 2 hours and a half. Give or take. Oh boy. Beerus was sitting on the grass while leaning on his back over a dead tree trunk as he watched Vegeta training with some clones he made using spirit control proliferation. The god of destruction noticed that Vegeta had been training harder than usual these past few days, as if the Saiyan was trying to achieve a goal he wanted to reach. What's up with you? More into this than usual, Beerus wondered out loud as Whis put down a plate full of cheese over the table next to Beerus. Vegeta made an oath to himself that he will one day surpass all the creatures across the multiverse, Whis told him. These words took Beerus by surprise, causing Kakashi to jump from his relaxed position as if his butt was pricked by needles. Vegeta said, "What?" Beerus fumed as he scowled at his guide Angel. Then he turned around with a displeased look in his yellow cat eyes as he glared at the Saiyan Prince, who was focusing his heat to create more clones of himself to train with. Vegeta said he wants to surpass all creatures across the multiverse. That right? He sneered. Yes, but he knows he still has a long way to go. That is why he is training harder than usual. Why? I can't believe the cockiness of that brat. Just surpassed the Super Saiyan God state. He already thinks he could reach a level that could surpass all the deities. He cannot even beat me in battle. How does he expect to surpass all deities? Beerus growled. I just told you he knows his place and is well aware of the fact that he still has a long way to go. Beerus scowled. Oh, does he? I think it is good for Vegeta to set a goal for himself. This would spur him more in training. Kakashi snorted, still annoyed. Huh! You made a goal that's impossible for him to reach. I could let it slide if he thinks he can surpass me, but the others. You? I don't think so. He was bitterly spat. Whis raised his index finger, staring at Beerus with a knowing look. Oh, do I need to remind you that you once told Vegeta that his powers will be greater than yours one day? Did I tell him that? Beerus asked sarcastically. Whis sighed. Yes, my lord. When he returned to you after he ran away from the contract he made with you. Beerus yelled, I don't remember saying anything like that. You did. I didn't! My. My, it's early in the morning and you two are already bickering with each other. A newly awakened young Gengo chimed in as the ball drifted between Whis and Beerus. Beerus stabbed a finger in the direction of the opal fish. Here is the oracle fish. She can tell you if I told Vegeta such a thing 16 years ago. Genko gave him a nasty look. Huh? Beerus leered at the fish, giving her a fearsome glare. Hey, tell Whis over here that I never told Vegeta that he will be greater than me. Oh, actually, you did, Genko said nonchalantly. Beerus fell. Whis laughed. I told you. And Vegeta-kun will too, Genko continued as she turned to look in the prince's direction. Beerus picked himself up, glaring at Vegeta as the Saiyan continued his sparring with his clones. Here, Vegeta, a mere Saiyan, greater than me, Beerus growled as he picked himself off the ground, glaring at Vegeta's back as if he wanted to kill him. I seriously have no idea why you're suddenly in denial. You already know it would happen. That's why you took Vegeta in as your protege. I know that, but what he told Whis annoys me to the core. As he is now, it is impossible for him to do what he swore he would do. That arrogant little brat. What if I tell you that I just had a dream about how deities across the multiverse would rise to their feet in honor and respect of Vegeta? Would that make you calm yourself, Beerus? Yoganko drawled. You dreamed of what? Whis asked in surprise. What? You dreamed of what? Whis asked in surprise. I've seen it! The chosen one who will surpass all of the gods will soon rise, and every single deity in Gengo said. Beerus rolled his eyes and snorted out loud. Huh, that brat! Very well then. Beerus walked a few steps forward, landing his hands over his hips. He raised his voice to Vegeta. Hey, Vegeta! Vegeta opened his eyes and turned his head towards Beerus. He could tell that the god was pissed off about something, and it made him uncomfortable. I heard you made a lot of progress from Whis. How about I test that new power of yours? The god of destruction challenged. Vegeta turned around and stared at Beerus for a moment. You could tell that Beerus was angry about something. Since he had achieved his new powers, he always wanted to spar with Beerus again and test how he would fare against the god with his Super Saiyan Blue powers. So he said, fine, I accept. Side note, this particular song, trying to find the lyrics, actually is like blue unripened fruit, unripened blue fruit. So it's got the Aoi in it, which stands for blue in and of itself. Most appropriate of playing yesterday. Hey, girl, you can hear me all loud and clear. Thank you for tuning in. And Jason as well, I assume. Okay, you haven't missed all too much, just a bit of bickering here and there, yeah. Battle was quick, much to the surprise of Whis and Yogenko. Despite powering up to his Super Saiyan Blue form, Vegeta couldn't hit Beerus, who was toying him around, gracefully and playfully dodging all his attacks. With one hit of Beerus' tail, Vegeta was sent crashing into the lake. Yep. Okay. What's the matter, Vegeta? Is this all you've got? Beerus asked when Vegeta didn't rise from the water for a few seconds. So much for the prophecy. This kind of power, how do you expect yourself to reach true godhood? Beerus' eyes narrowed when the lake bubbled into the surface and Vegeta rose from the water, floating upward. The look on his face remained calm, as opposed to what Beerus was expecting. After being insulted like that, the Saiyan Prince should have been exploding in pure rage and blindly charging at him. So it seems that Vegeta had truly changed and was now able to control his typically short temper with a calm demeanor. Beerus murmured, "What's this? You want to go again?" Vegeta remained still and quiet. He exhaled slowly and closed his eyes, concentrating within himself. Soon the aura surrounding him turned into bluish-white smoke until it had completely dissipated. Below him, Whis and Yogenko were both astonished. "Wait, that's..." Yogenko gasped. Whis stated, "He has completely mastered Super Saiyan Blue. Since when did he learn to do that?" Vegeta snorted as he gave Beerus a smirk. Beerus stared at Vegeta as if the Saiyan had just grown a second head right in front of him, inwardly wondering if he was wrong to underestimate the threat. "This is interesting. I didn't expect that you would be able to master your new power so quickly. Let's continue," Beerus said. Beerus moved so fast he left an after image from where he last stood and started charging at Vegeta this time. To his surprise, the Saiyan was holding his own. Vegeta was able to block his attacks, defend himself from the mighty blows Beerus threw at him. "Oh, I can see an improvement. I wonder how long you can keep this up," Beerus smiled. Vegeta attacked this time. While Beerus still blocked them, it was obvious that the Hakaishin was giving more effort than he could go. While he was lost in his thoughts, pondering about the increased strength of Vegeta's attacks, one punch slid past Beerus' defenses to the god's chagrin. Vegeta was unable to touch Beerus though, as he was able to dodge at the last moment. "Vegeta's actually doing great," Whis declared down below. Beerus? Genko asked. Still playing around. I could say that he's already using nearly 80% of his power. 80%? Genko gasped. I never thought Vegeta would grow this fast. Annoyed, Beerus moved away from Vegeta with a speed that the prince shouldn't be able to see, but Vegeta surprisingly sensed the path of his direction. There! Vegeta declared as he gave Beerus a sharp glare. He instantly teleported right in front of Beerus and punched him straight in the face. Vegeta's fists slightly connected on Beerus's left cheek, but it didn't manage to send the god flying at all. Yay! I got you! Vegeta cheered about how he was finally able to land a hit on Beerus. Oh! He did it! Genko said in awe. Yes, he did, was said with a satisfied smile. Beerus stayed silent for a moment before Vegeta could even know how dangerous the situation he was in this time. Beerus roughly grabbed his wrist with his left hand, squeezed it with his fingers, and twisted it around, causing Vegeta to yelp and scream in pain as he tried to pull his hand back. You cocky little brat! Beerus snarled venomously at him, giving Vegeta a death glare that made Vegeta feel instant terror. Genko screamed down below, This is bad! Beerus is about to lose control, Whis! Put up the barrier! I will, Whis assured her, taking the scepter out. Beerus continued, You never changed, Vegeta. You always get carried away every time you reach a new level of power, or whenever you gain the upper hand. You should know that I was still going easy on you, Saiyan. At this rate, it would take you millions of years just to be my equal. But then, I could at least applaud you for your improvements so far. He grabbed Vegeta by the collar of his shirt and pulled him close to his face until he butt-headed him, causing Vegeta to feel nauseous and dizzy and revert him to his base form in an instant. Ah! Vegeta groaned as his world spun. Look at me, boy, Beerus ordered. Vegeta tried to open his eyes to stare at Beerus' furious gaze. The god of destruction glared at the defeated Saiyan warrior, straight in the eyes and growled. Be real, Vegeta. If you wish to set a goal, at least let it be realistic. I'm not telling you this to break your spirit or demotivate you. But always remember that if you set a goal in that ambitious mind of yours, make sure that it's realistic and that you can do it. You will never become a respected and honored god of destruction if you don't have the honor to stay true to your word. Do you understand me? Yes, yes, Beerus-sama, Vegeta stuttered, nodding his head fearfully. Beerus snorted before he roughly hurled Vegeta to the grass so hard it caused the ground to crack underneath the Saiyan. I will do it, the Saiyan coughed. I will not go back to my work. You were right. It may take me millions of years just to be equal to you, but I will do it. Beerus turned to him. Are you crazy? How are you even going to live millions of years if you are still a mortal who could be killed or destroyed at any given time? Don't be ridiculous, boy. Beerus returned to where Whis and Genko watched. That was rude of you, Beerus-sama, Whis scolded. I only told him the truth he needed to hear, Beerus mumbled. Whis, take care of that mess. Whis shook his head in disapproval, and he went to Vegeta's side. The Saiyan was sitting on the cracked ground where he just plummeted and tasted another bitter sting of defeat. My apologies, Vegeta-san. I had no idea Beerus-sama would react that way. If I knew, I wouldn't have told him. I'm fine. He was right anyways, Vegeta told Whis with indifferent tone. Whis wanted to comfort Vegeta by congratulating him on the job well done, But after their previous conversation, Whis decided to hold back his words. Vegeta was certainly not in the mood to be praised and will never appreciate the given. So, what are you going to do now that Beerus-sama didn't like your idea of a goal? Asked Wu. Nothing. My goal remains the same. Beerus-sama was correct about how impossible it would be for me to reach that. But I know myself better than anyone else. I know I can do it. I will not give up. I will not stop even if no one believes that I could do it. Who said that no one believes that you can do it? I am here. I believe in you. Who said that no one believes that you can do it? I am here. I believe in you. Yogenko suddenly chimed in. I also believe in you, he assured him. And I'm sure that Beerus-sama too. He's just being rough, you know. But I know after all, he was the one who chose you to be his successor. Vegeta let out a small smile, grateful for the assurance. Thank you. Now then, why don't you come with me so you can have your lunch? You've been training hard since this morning. I bet you're famished. Vegeta nodded, feeling his stomach react to the thought. He went back to the castle with Whis and Yogenko. Several hours later, Beerus walked into the dining room where Vegeta was eating dinner, still in a sour mood. Vegeta saw him but decided to ignore him by lowering his eyes on the table and eating his food in silence as Beerus sat on the seat opposite him. Oh my, have you taken your nap, Beerus-sama? Oh my, have you taken your nap, Beerus-sama? You look like you are still in a terrible mood, Whis asked him in concern. Thank you, Jason. Much appreciated. Yeah. No, haven't slept a wink at all, Beerus complained as he lazily put his chin on top of his right hand. Why is that? His bored eyes gazed at Vegeta across him, who was quietly eating his food. Hey, Vegeta! Vegeta nearly jumped off his seat with the god of destruction caught his attention. Yes? Beerus darted his eyes into the exit, silently ordering the prince to leave. Vegeta opened his mouth to complain about not having finished his food, yet Beerus yelled at him to leave and bring his damn food with him, or he would destroy him right there. Vegeta fearfully scampered out of the dining room, took several plates of food with him, and went straight to his room. Seriously, why are you being like this to him all of a sudden? Asked him with a frown. That damn Saiyan! There's something about him that made me think and realize that I was wrong to mock him about his goals this morning. I see. But just as I thought, you realize this, haven't you? Of course. My senses do not lie. I am a god after all, Beerus said. I honestly did not expect him to improve so well in such a short amount of time. No wonder he was always hailed as a prodigy. He's entirely different from his people. He isn't just an ordinary saint. Any mortal would take several years to master godly power. I myself took decades to master just the basics of godly power. For Vegeta to master his godly powers that easily within 7 months, he continues to evolve and reach even further heights. Burning fighting spirit combined with his determination, ambition, pride, and his abilities in the Saiyan made him reach this point quickly. If he continues to be like this, then perhaps the time will surpass. Burning fighting spirit combined with his determination, ambition, pride, and his abilities, the Saiyan made him reach this point quickly. If it continues to be like this, then perhaps the time when he surpassed me would come sooner than I expected. Whis turned his eyes to Beerus. There seemed to be a melancholic feeling to those words, but he saw that Beerus was smiling proudly about his protege's achievement. Let me prepare you some food. Please do wait here, Beerus-sama. While Whis was busy preparing his master's dinner, Beerus noticed a dark green crystal on the top of the scepter that was leaning on the wall next to him was glowing. Whis apologized and asked Beerus to answer the call. Mumbling, Beerus angrily grabbed the wand and said, "We're busy! You can call after an hour!" The wand unexpectedly moved on its own, pulling itself away from Beerus's grasp, and floated in the air above him. A bright green light burst out of the flashing crystal. A figure appeared within the ray. It was the shape of a petite alien child, about the size of a 3-year-old kid, with a large oval-shaped head. He had sky blue skin, except for 2 sections from his ears to the middle of each circle. Shaped eye on both sides of his head, which are purple. He had small round eyes and rounded grey robot-like ears on the side of his head. He donned a magenta and yellow lined coat with yellow pants and magenta loafers. He wore a black and white shirt underneath with a single character, which meant everything on the front. Sight of the petite childlike being terrified Beerus immensely. Out of his terror, he fell on his butt on the floor, screaming with it in a loud, screeching voice, "King Zen!" as he backpedaled until his back hit the wall on the opposite side of the room. Realizing what he was doing, Beerus immediately stood in attention and mechanically marched forward due to his tension, and then knelt before the tiny creature, which teleported next to Beerus, putting down a plateful of food on the table, and bowed down as well in respect to the hologram image of the deity of everything, King Zen. "Good day, Your Majesty. What made you grace us with your call?" Whis asked.
Good day, High Kaishin Beerus, Guide Angel Whis, King Zen greeted. You see, I called you because I was getting a little bored around here. I wanted to see you and the other guys. Please do come over.
"Sure, of course, Your Majesty. It will be a pleasure to visit you," Whis responded. King Zen gave them a kind look and smile.
Okay then, please come with 10 minutes. I'll be waiting. Please do bring your Kaioshin too. Bye bye.
Then, the hologram faded into sparks. Beerus raised his head in pure terror. Now what does King Zen want from them? And he suddenly decided to call them out along with the other gods. Would they play some sort of childish game with their lives and existence on the line once again? Whatever it is, it meant bad news for him. However, Beerus knew better than to defy the king of all, and so he forcefully obliged. Having lost his appetite, Beerus ordered his guide angel, "Whis, bring Shin in here. I will have Vegeta prepare himself for his introduction and meeting with the other deities of the 12 universes and the multiverse." Whis nodded. "I understand, my lord." Vegeta frowned in annoyance when he heard Beerus's frantic screaming, as if there was a fire in the kitchen. He silently snorted, not wanting to deal with Beerus's temper tantrums any longer, and decided to let them be. He liked being alone in his room. In here, it was peaceful and quiet, and he don't need to worry about anything. Oh, the irony. Until Beerus burst through Vegeta's door, yelling at him to dress up in his most proper clothing. Before Vegeta could even open his mouth to ask what the problem was, Beerus was already digging through Vegeta's closet and throwing things from there into the floor. Vegeta complained about the mess Beerus was doing in his room, and Beerus demanded if he had anything better to wear other than his training clothes and armor. Vegeta told him that those were the only clothes Whis created for him. Whis teleported to Vegeta's room along with 2 strangers. The shorter one had white mohawk hair and a light purple skin, dressed in a blue-colored posh Kai outfit. He had a pair of green round Patara earrings on the long pointed ears. The other one was incredibly tall, wrinkled red skin on a broad face, had long straight silver hair and diamond. I'm laughing because of the story. I'm also laughing because of a real life bloody we said something. Oh my god. Oh, I didn't expect you to say that. When I first read it, I thought you were saying when I'm free, so that we all get our asses kicked by you. Oh god, the professionalism, huh? Oh god. Okay. Oh my god. Oh god, where was I? My apologies. It's been that kind of day. Okay, so, yep. The three of them started in disgust as the mess Beerus made on the three of them stared in disgust as the mess Beerus made on the floor. Whis, does Vegeta have any proper clothes to wear at all? All of these are either battle armor or simple training clothes, Beerus demanded. Vegeta frowned at the clothes on the floor. Those certainly proper to him. My apologies, Beerus-sama. I will give him a proper one immediately, my lord, Whis assured him. Whis pointed his scepter towards a confused Vegeta, and he was magically dressed into something else different. Beerus was displeased with Vegeta's new clothes, so Whis put another piece of clothing into him. This went on and on until Beerus was satisfied. It's like angel clothes being changed. Advanced version of Piccolo's. I wonder what did happen to Piccolo in this version. Came in jar? We'll see. In the corner, the newcomers muttered to themselves as they watched Beerus and Whis make a dress-up doll out of the same print. What? Is that a Saiyan? The shorter one with the light purple skin whispered, noticing the monkey-like tail in between the boy's shaking legs. Seems so, my lord, replied the red-skinned man. What is a Saiyan mortal doing in Beerus-sama's place? Yeah, I thought all Saiyans had been destroyed. I have no idea. Out of his impatience, Vegeta screamed at both Beerus and Whis, having enough of being treated like a doll. Beerus yelled back at his tone while Whis scolded him for such rude disrespect. We are going to present you to the Grand Zen King. You cannot wear improper attire, Beerus yelled. I don't care who that Grand King, whoever he is. Stop making me your damn toy, Vegeta retorted. Vegeta-san, it is improper of you to talk about the king of all that way, Whis scolded. Whatever, just give me an attire that befitted a royal crown prince like myself. Not just dress me however you want. I'm not your Barbie doll. Beerus and Whis quieted that. That's a good idea, Beerus said. I agree, Whis said. Whis dressed him in his proper royal attire. You know, whatever princely clothes he wore on planet Vegeta, just make sure it fits him well, the Kaishin ordered. As you wish, my lord, Whis said. Vegeta rolled his eyes as he let out an exasperated sigh, feeling relief. Finally this shit is over, he thought. Having dealt with Beerus' entrance all day about clothing had made him tired, and he just wanted to go wherever they want to take him and get it done soon. The burst of angelic light, Vegeta's clothes magically changed into his Saiyan royal armor. Vegeta looked down at himself. The nostalgia of him wearing his princely clothes brought memories back. The pearl-white armor with the insignia of the Saiyan royal family. The flowing red cape pinned on top of his golden shoulder pads. His royal blue long-sleeve jumpsuit. White gloves and boots. Same design, but bigger than what he used to have since he had already grown up into a young adult. How is it? He asked. Vegeta raised his head, and with his princely pride and overwhelming confidence, nodded at Reese with a satisfied smirk. This is better. I'm glad you like it. I don't see it being different from the armor you used in your training, Beerus commented from this. Vegeta half at Beerus. Excuse me, but this is Saiyan Royal's formal attire. Only proper of me to wear if you want to present me to that king of all, whoever that bastard is. Beerus yelled at him with a louder, Whis already told you to stop talking about the Grand King Zeno like that, brat! Watch your tongue with me! Whis pulled his two arguing children away from one another, like a mother wanting to separate her two fighting sons. Now, that's enough of you two. We wasted enough time trying to dress Prince Vegeta. We must go, or we will be late. My apologies if I interrupt, but I would like to ask, what is with this Saiyan mortal, and you wish to present him to the man with purple asked. Oh, my apologies we haven't introduced him yet. This is Prince Vegeta IV, the last crown prince of the Saiyans and planet Vegeta. He is training to become Beerus Sama's successor in the future. The man's jaw dropped in disbelief. You have chosen a Saiyan as your successor? The man gasped. This is, paused for a while, finding Vegeta's unnerving glare towards him. Tried to find better words to say. I don't know. Saiyans were known for their ruthless, savage nature. I think that he's the son of Vegeta III. He looks just like his father. We've heard a few things about King firstborn son being a gifted fighter and all. But, honest, I can't say if I find him a perfect candidate for the position, or if I should be worried that he could stay in prison. Of course he is perfect. I've waited 200 million years for him, so I know that, Beerus exclaimed, turned to Vegeta and ordered him to formally introduce himself as Shin. Vegeta, this is the god of creation and supreme guardian deity. Jin, the man over there, is his attendant, Kabito. Go and show them your respect. Vegeta gazed at the deities right before him. He could tell that both disliked him, not because of animosity, but of their anxiety and discomfort about his origin. Vegeta reluctantly bowed before the Kaioshin and muttered in a forced, polite manner, Greetings, I am Vegeta IV, Crown Prince of the Saiyans and planet Vegeta. It's my pleasure meeting you both, though he doesn't sound pleased at all. Beerus glared at Vegeta, hissing at him. Watch your manners, Vegeta, especially when you're in front of the King of all, he warned. Vegeta simply rolled his eyes at him and mumbled, Whatever. Anyways, mind explaining to me everything? You should all seem a little tense and anxious about this. I can't help but notice just who is this King of all. The four immortal beings looked at each other. Beerus shrugged his shoulders and waved a hand to allow wisdom to explain. The King of all is the one who rules over the 12 universes. I have already told you that there are 12 different universes in total, and the world we are living in is called the 7th universe. Each of the 12 universes has its deities of creation and destruction, and a guide angel. While these three beings are considered the most powerful in their universe, There were also much more powerful deities that rule above them all. Those beings watch over the multiverse at once. These are the King of All and the Grand Priest. The King of All is the absolute most powerful being in the multiverse. He can create and destroy entire universes on a whim. He's the one who created all of the universes and also caused the destruction of the other 6 universes that once existed. It is also said that he has the power to control reality itself. Whoa, he is that powerful? Vegeta gasped. He wondered just how much power his Grand King Zeno possessed as compared to Whis, or Beerus, or even himself. He knows he is excited to meet all these deities. What are we waiting for? Let's go and meet him, he said. Whis chuckled, shaking his head. He knew that as a Saiyan, Vegeta always loved meeting extremely powerful people. He took his scepter out and spoke to the flashing crystal. We are ready, Daishin-kan-sama. Kind voice resonated from the crystal. Very well then, please come in. The place was abruptly changed into a massive hallway of a palace surrounded by pristine white pillars. Vegeta found Beerus, Shin, Kibito, and Whis kneeling on one knee and bowing down on the shining marble blue floor. He was taken out of his confusion when Beerus pulled him down and forced him to kneel like them. He could sense that there were several other deities with him. Vegeta peeked to see the gods of creation and destruction from the other 11 universes. Along with their guide angels and attendants, he could tell that none of them comes close to Beerus' power. Welcome, everyone. The same voice as the one who spoke in his scepter early greeted. The one called Daishin-kan, if Vegeta remembered how he addressed him. It is our pleasure to come and visit His Majesty, Daishin-kan. Everyone, except Vegeta said in unison. Oh, I think we have 2 other guests in here, Daishin noticed. Dearest Belmont, would you like to introduce the 2 gentlemen behind you? Vegeta was staring intently at the reflection of those around him. Through the shiny tiles below him, you could see that this Daishin-kan was a man of average height and looked similar to Whis, but had his silver hair swept back instead of upward. He wore a navy blue suit that made him look like a priest, so he must be the Grand Priest Whis was talking about earlier. He doesn't look much, judging by his physical appearance alone, but considering how all these deities were respecting him, he must be extremely powerful. Beerus was about to open his mouth, but Belmont spoke first, interrupting. Man is Topo Daishin-kan-sama, planning on retiring from my position as God of Destruction of the 11th universe soon, so I decided to choose and train my successor to the position. Because he was with me today, I decided to bring him along for introductions, for his own experience as well. I am Topo, at your service, my lord, the man called Topo said in a rough voice. Vegeta saw through the reflection on the tiles that this Belmont was a pale-skinned clown-looking guy with a body built as lanky as Beerus's. For some reason, Vegeta didn't like him. He had a feeling this man is too contemptuous for God, and he trusted that this perception was correct since he disrespected Beerus by speaking first despite being asked second. Vegeta seeked out Beerus' energy, and he sensed that his master felt utterly furious. He was humiliated about that. Frowned. Why does Beerus act so high and mighty around? But in here, he acts like a bully kid who used to stand up for himself. The one called Topo was burly, bald-headed, and had a thick white mustache that reminded Vegeta of a logo from a potato chip brand from Earth. Whis had once bought from the intergalactic market. This guy was also a successor into becoming a Hakaishin like him, and he wondered what kind of training he does under Belmont and his guide angel. Vegeta's eyes narrowed when he found a reflection of a lady with twin feet. He learned that there were female angels too. It was then he realized that all guide angels looked similar to one another. Silver-haired, a gentle face, light blue skin, icy eyes, even their clothing was similar size. Vegeta wondered if they came from a single plant along with that Daishinkan. Okay, Daishinkan noted, and he turned to Beerus. How about you, Beerus? I guess that gentleman behind you is your future successor as well. Yes, Daishinkan-sama, Beerus replied. Vegeta could tell that he was trying to remain innocent. This is Prince Vegeta. Prince Vegeta. Yes, he was the crown prince of the Saiyans in our universe. Upon hearing that, Vegeta heard several hushed comments from others. It was similar to how Shin reacted, but worse. Vegeta frowned at this. Do they have a problem with the Saiyans that they seem so disgusted about him? Beerus, you lost your mind. I know we all hated you around here, but how could you choose a Saiyan from your universe as your successor? Complained someone from the group on Beerus' right. The fat version of Beerus yelling those words. Everybody knows the Saiyans from your universe are vastly different from the Saiyans in Champions universe. Why choose someone who has bad blood running through his veins as a successor to the position of God of Destruction? Eric, who was with the next group opposite the fat Beerus, asked. This is the reason why the 7th universe ranked the lowest in the mortal level. Because Beerus was lazy enough to let these kind of belligerent troublemaking fools exist in the universe and do as they please. Liqueur, a golden third fox Taishin, laughed on their right side. Now, that would be enough. I'm sure Beerus has his reasons for choosing Royal Prince, Daishinkan said, hushing the complaints to Beerus' preferences. He turned to the God of Destruction of the 7th universe and asked him, Beerus, do you mind explaining yourself? I've ordered the destruction of all Saiyans in my universe, Daishinkan-sama, Beerus explained, but I found this boy, the Crown Prince, different from the rest of his people. I saw in him a potential to become a great destroyer god. Yes, given his savage and animalistic Saiyan origins, he will indeed be a great destroyer god, could tell a greenish rat-looking god of destruction from the 4th universe with sarcasm in his voice. Heck, he might eventually lose control and just destroy everything he sees if he gets extremely pissed off. Saiyans from the 7th universe are extremely violent and bloodthirsty savages. I don't think we can trust him to make good judgments over what is needed to be destroyed or not. Hellas, the goddess of destruction in the 2nd universe, the only female among the destroyers, reasoned. Yeah. Okay, where was I? Vegeta's patience was running thin, but he did his best to keep his boiling rage and temper in check. The insults were too much, and his pride couldn't take it. He could understand why these deities were so against the 7th universe Saiyans, but for them to judge him so quickly because of his origins and compare him to the majority, but the lower class of people. I told you Vegeta's different from the rest of these people, Beerus defended, much to Vegeta's surprise. He is well-educated, well-trained, extremely intelligent, has proper control over himself, his Saiyan instincts and his power. And to tell you the truth, Vegeta is considered a real prodigy by myself and Whis. Do you think we will believe your words, Beerus? Shouted Mumushi, a pink elephant-looking god of destruction from the 10th universe. We can trust and accept any saying from Shampa's universe, but never that came from yours. The 12th universe god of destruction said. How about that Freezer? I heard he's also a nasty guy, but we can all agree that he's better choice than a Primal Saiyan. Champa of the 6th universe suggested. Hey, little sis, thank you for tuning in. We're just at the juicy part now. That didn't. Vegeta stood up and declared furiously, "You have a problem with me, then why don't you put me to a test? I will show you what I am truly capable of, and I will prove you all wrong." For a moment, the gods of destruction were utterly stunned by this. Akaishin Sidra of the 5th universe was the first to speak. What insolence! Just who do you think you are to cut in the conversation of gods? You foolish, lowly mortal Saiyan. So you finally decide to show your true colors. Good. The temper of yours only proved that you are not proper for this role, Utella said. Oh, that's all good, little sis. I hope you had fun with that. Saiyajin Raishu on the yes. Cool. Vegeta shot retorted. Are you gods of destruction any better? Do you think that having that kind of judgmental and racist behavior is proper behavior for someone of your status? Since when did gods become this petty? His words caused the gods to be taken aback by both shock and anger. What? Judgmental? Shempa shrieked. Racist? Whom she gasped. Petty? Utella shrieked. Vegeta declared. You know nothing of me, aside from the race I came from. You haven't seen what I am capable of yet. And you dare insult me by comparing me to the negative image of my people. I am the crown prince of all saints, and I don't care who you are. I will not allow you to insult me, or even my people, or the pride of the Saiyans as a whole. No, not even anyone's, or the entire 7th universe's honor. Suddenly, there was a momentary silence. Oh, good. Go on. Put me to a test. I will not back down. Vegeta challenged. Or are you afraid that I might humiliate you for the words you threw at me? Bro, the Kaishi of the 9th universe, stunned in his disbelief. How arrogant! This utter disrespect to us gods! Jin scolded. How rude of you, insolent mortal, to speak to us that way! Beerus, discipline your monkey pet! Vegeta growled in tension. When he saw Beerus rose from his kneeling position and stealthily walked right behind him, putting his hands over to Vegeta's shoulders. Surprisingly, despite the fury Vegeta had lashed out, his power had not burst out of control yet. At the moment, all anger Vegeta felt towards the deities was replaced by the fear of him being destroyed by Beerus right there. Vegeta gritted his teeth, told himself to never apologize about this. He would never be sorry for what he had said or done. He knew he did the right thing, and he would never regret standing up to these conceited gods for insulting him and his pride. What they did was completely unforgivable to him. He was sure that these gods felt the same way about him. If Beerus chose to side with his colleagues, then Vegeta would never forgive him for this either. He would curse all the gods forever. Vegeta! Beerus called him. Prince spat out, still restraining himself. What is it? He growled. On a scale of 1 to 10, how angry are you right now? That's obvious. It's over 10! Good! Beerus said. The Daishin Sama. Perhaps this is good proof that despite the rage Vegeta was having right now, after having been insulted by these fools, he still didn't attack anyone or even lose control of his powers at all. Oh, that's actually a good point. Daishin agreed, but was cut off by an angry shout. How dare you call us the fools, Beerus? Nico shot back. Dashinkan cleared his throat, visibly displeased that he was interrupted. This caused Liqueur to quickly apologize and lower his head in shame. Suddenly, the childlike deity King Zen entered the halls. Having heard of the commotion, the small but extremely powerful god asked, Hey, what's the commotion? I heard some people yelling and it's getting noisy around here. Hearing the voice, all the gods tensed. Beerus hissed at Vegeta's ear. Back, get down to your knees, boy. Let's deal with them later. And then he pushed him down along with him to one knee as he knelt and bowed before the king of all. Vegeta was confused at first, but he allowed Beerus to put him down. Vegeta watched at the reflection of the youth, so that colorful looking brat is the king of all. It's hard to believe that such a being ruled over all that exists in the multiverse. Plus, he doesn't seem like someone with a supreme level of power, like he thought he would be. But observing the tension around the room by his keen sensing ability, the prince could tell that he must be extremely powerful to some extent. Though he doubted that the said king was a fighter like the rest of them all. What is happening here? Zen asked. My apologies, your majesty. There were just some disagreements among the guards' instruction about Beerus' choice for successor, Daishin explained. King Zen turned his head in Beerus' direction, causing Beerus to stiffen and sweat profusely. Why? He asked curiously. Daishin can explain everything to King Zen in detail. The king of all listened and he understood the situation. He shifted his head like black eyes towards Vegeta. I see. Zen nodded in understanding. Stepped forward towards the side of the 7th universe. You there, Prince Vegeta, right? He called. Vegeta hesitated at first. Couldn't fathom the fact that he was forced to kneel and bow to this thing at all. As much as he wanted to address the deity informally, decided to hold back his brashness, swallow his pride, and answer the god in a tone devoid of any emotion. Yes, Vegeta responded. I do not condone such bad behavior in my place and would like to apologize on behalf of these gods. I will let your rude behavior slide this time because I understand that you were only provoked by them. My apologies. I appreciate your grace, your majesty. Okay then, please work hard and do your best in your training. I look forward to having you in here. Beerus has a bad record of not doing his job. Well, that is why your universe is at the bottom of the rank. I hope that you don't take after him, King Zen said with a giggle. Vegeta stifled his laughter. He guessed it wasn't so bad at all. When King Zen finally walked away, Beerus elbowed Vegeta on his side, visibly insulted that Vegeta was laughing at him in front of the King of all. I summoned you all in here because I was bored, King Zen announced. I wanted to see you all and play a game with you, but after I found out what happened here, I lost my mood. As I said, I do not tolerate this kind of behavior in this place, and I'm displeased to know that you gods have such an attitude. Prince Vegeta is a candidate for the God of Destruction position, and therefore is my esteemed guest in my palace. You should know better than discriminate against my guest just because of his origins or because you think he's just a mortal. I'm sure you heard of the saying, never judge a book by its cover. Please be mindful of this and apologize to both Prince Vegeta and Beerus. The other gods reluctantly apologized, but both Vegeta and Beerus knew better. They knew their apologies weren't meant, except perhaps that of Achilles and Sidra, whose apologies were more sincere than the others. Vegeta could tell that Achilles and Sidra were kinder as compared to the others, and they had realized their own mistake and accepted it. Meanwhile, the god of destruction of the universe street named Bold. A green robot deity doesn't seem to care about what the other gods think about him. He was the only one who didn't make any comment about him. It seemed the god is lost in his little world. The rest only did it just to please King Zen, because they were afraid of provoking him even further. In order to see this, Vegeta's desire to surpass all these gods, to prove his superiority over them, burned the greater. He managed to overpower them one day. Nobody will look down on him again. He will fear no one, not even the king of all.
Now that's done, I was thinking of sending you all home because I just lost my mood to do this any longer. But then, I was thinking about something rather interesting, just to teach you a lesson after what you just did. Prince Vegeta, the Grand Priest, mentioned that you are a Saiyan from the 7th universe. Is that correct?
Vegeta replied with an indifferent tone once more. Yes.
Interesting. I heard quite a lot of bad things about your people, but learning that Beerus has defended your honor because he believes you are different than the others made me curious about what you are capable of doing. Setting all the negativity aside, I also heard that Saiyans are extremely strong warriors and are so good at fighting. The fact that you are the Crown Prince, I expect you are the best among your kind, are you?
Vegeta couldn't help the proud and confident smile that stretched across his lips. Yes. King Zen giggled in delight.
I like your confidence and your straightforwardness. Very well, I would like to see you fight and show us what you can really do. This is to give you a chance to prove yourself to me and the others.
King Zen turned to the Grand Priest.
Taishinken, you managed that Belmont also brought his candidate for God of Destruction.
Asked. Yes, your majesty, Taishinken replied.
Good. Then he and Vegeta could fight each other for me, King Zen suggested.
Vegeta shot his head up to Beerus and then focused his eyes to the God of Destruction, Belmont's direction, and then into the burly man with the thick white mustache. His name was Topo. He realized that the man was also looking at him with surprise, and then with cautiousness, as if he was gauging his abilities and comparing them with his. Vegeta did the same thing with him, as expected from a fellow Hakaishin candidate. Vegeta couldn't sense Topo's power at all. He wondered if Topo was feeling the same way about him. He let out a cocky smirk. He was sure he would surprise this bastard once he unleashed his power. Topo blinked at his confident smile. He was
頭にくるぜ。戦いが大好きで優しいサイヤ人なんてよ。頑張れ、カカロット。お前がナンバーワンだ。
You heard His Majesty, Prince Vegeta. Topo, please prepare yourselves for battle, Lashinkin called out. The two engaged in a glaring match as both rose from their position. Suddenly, they were transported into a different place located somewhere in the Black Palace. The representatives of each universe stood on top of a floating rock overlooking a massive arena. Above them floated the throne where King Zen sat with Daishinkin and two intimidating-looking guards levitating next to him. This is your big chance, Topo, Belmont said, distracting the candidate for the 11th Universe's Hakaishin from his glaring match with Vegeta. Arrogant brat doesn't look much for you to handle. I want you to break his pride and his spirit and show him that he is not fit to become a god of destruction. I am sure that everyone is looking forward to you putting him in fight with face. As you wish, Belmont-sama. Beerus scowled deeply, hearing what Belmont just said to Topo. Turned around to see that majority of the gods from each universe, aside from the 2nd and 3rd universes, the 9th universe's god of destruction Sidra, and the 10th universe's Supreme Kai Gowasu, who decided to be neutral, were indeed taking Belmont and Topo's side out of their animosity towards Beerus and Vegeta. giving them both nasty looks in the corner of their eyes and snickering in disgust. He turned his head towards Vegeta, who was coldly staring in Toppo's direction. Beerus wondered if he heard any of Belmont's words. Vegeta! Beerus called. Yeah? Let loose. Fight as much as you want, and show them what you can really do. Do not worry about anything. I believe that you can do this. Vegeta turned to Beerus, giving him his usual proud, confident smirk. Of course I will. Beerus gave him a grin full of pride and confidence about his protege. I know you would. Now go and prove yourself worthy out there. Show them the true power of the proud Saiyan Prince. Now then, Prince Vegeta and Toppo, please enter the stage, Daishinkan said. Vegeta gave Beerus, Whis, and Shin a nod before he dropped his red cape down the floor and jumped into the battle arena, followed by Toppo. Note, Barbie Dolls. The story's equivalent to Barbie Dolls. Next chapter, The Legend of the God of Destruction, Part 7, Vegeta's Evolution. Then destruction came to my life, the legend of the God of Destruction. And we'll take a bit, just about a couple of minutes of a retrieval. So yeah, stand by, go get yourself a drink, relieve yourselves, and yeah, we'll be back momentarily. You're watching Iron Princedom. Thank you for tuning in, live and otherwise. Alright. Give it a moment, everyone. Turned up. I'll continue. I have not shared this. I see. Commonplace. Oh. Whatever. Why not? Yep, sharing it is your chances of getting the bloody more viewership. Okay, yes. So commence. The microphone is on. I do not make the same mistake, at least not 3 times. Then destruction came to my life. In brutal legend of Dodge. So beautiful. Oh, this reminds me of the struggle, pain, blood, sweat, and tears to obtain this in Legends. Peter faces off against Topo, a fellow candidate for the God of Destruction from the 11th universe. His fierce battle of principles and the need to prove his strength to the gods before him. Vegeta's pride and powers as a Saiyan warrior are tested to them. And it turns out that Topo's just too much for him to handle. This is part 7 of Vegeta's backstory, telling his mortal life before he became a god of destruction. Nice. How did you wish to learn the powers of destruction and decided to enter a contract with Virus? Yes? Whis used to ask him this question over the course of his training. Even after 16 years had passed since he made the contract with the God of Destruction, Peter never answered that question and always responded that it was none of Whis' concerns. He was glad that he was one lucky mortal to have the uncanny ability to conceal his thoughts to himself. Not even deities or angels could ever decode. Perhaps this is the reason why Topo and the other gods kept on staring at him the entire time. You could hear their hushed voices asking themselves about the oddity that they cannot read a mortal's thoughts. They think it was a problem because they couldn't find out any reason why he was being this confident about the upcoming battle or what he was planning at all. Vegeta, Beerus called. Yeah? Let loose. Fight as much as you want and show them what you can really do. Do not worry about anything. I believe that you can do this. Vegeta turned to Beerus, giving him his usual proud and confident smirk. Of course I will. Beerus gave him a grin full of pride and confidence about his prodigy. I know you do. Now go and prove yourself worthy out there. Show them the true power of the proud Saiyan Prince. Now then, Prince Vegeta and Toppo, please enter the stage, Daishinkan said. Vegeta took his red cape off his golden shoulder pads and dropped it down the floor. He gave Beerus and Whis a look before he jumped into the arena, followed by Toppo. The two only stared at each other in silence for several moments. Realizing that the Saiyan had no intention of speaking, Toppo decided to start the conversation. Hey, you are a candidate for God of Destruction like myself, right? Peter's eyes narrowed. He didn't like how this man had dressed him at all. Yeah, so what? Colson replied. Toppo was flabbergasted at such an uninterested response. He shrugged his shoulders and said, I just want to say that we should do our best and give this fight all to impress our masters and His Majesty, King Zen. That's all. Whatever. Toppo's eye twitched. Attitude of this guy was getting on his nerves. How long have you been training with Beerus-sama? I could tell that it hasn't been that long. I cannot sense any godly power in you, just the normal energy of mortals. Even so, it isn't that much, Toppo said. That is none of your business. Now Toppo's getting irked. He was trying to get a good conversation out of his fellow candidate and future colleague, but it seemed he didn't care at all. Perhaps this Vegeta's pride was really that high. You are a rude, arrogant brat, Saiyan. I know you have incurred the eye of everyone in here with your attitude. I'm going to teach you a lesson and break that inflated sense of pride in you, Toppo declared. Try me if you can. That overconfidence of yours is going to be your downfall. Daishinkan announced the rules. As King Zen requested, this match is going to be between the two present candidates to the position of God of Destruction from the 7th and 11th universes, for us to see ourselves Prince Vegeta's potential for this position. There will be no time limit until one admits defeat, or cannot continue by the count of 10. Both fighters may fight using all powers, but using a weapon outside one's ability is prohibited. Up in the air, Daishinkan raised his hand forward and declared, "Let the match begin!" Peter's resolve. The floor of the arena abruptly snapped with yellowish electricity. It originated from the bottom of Vegeta's boots, and it snaked all the way towards Toppo. The 11th Universe's fighter was alerted of this. The amount of power his opponent was giving off. Ah! Vegeta suddenly shouted. His black eyes quickly flashed a jade green color. A shock wave burst around him, causing the arena to seemingly jump in surprise. Vegeta pulled his lips away from his gritted teeth, stooping forward as his muscles converged. Pulsed. Whitish yellow lightning crackled across his body as it started to glow with a fiery golden energy. The arena floor shook underneath as each tile slowly levitated due to the sheer amount of devastating energy Vegeta was releasing gradually. While Vegeta could have instantly transformed if he wanted to, he purposely slowed it down just to show off to everyone the legendary power he had within him and how much control he had over the supposedly uncontrollable power fueled by intense rage. Vegeta's jet black hair billowed against the waves of his energy, like a blazing black flame. All of a sudden, his hair flashed gold for a very short moment, sending golden sparks to flutter around each dark spike. This made the guards quite bewildered. What's happened? They have never heard of Saiyan having this much power and having his control over the seemingly overwhelming heat. What is that golden glow just now? Gah! With a powerful roar, Peter threw his head back once again and transformed into a full-powered Super Saiyan. The wrath of the legendary warrior bathed him and surged his energy outwards. As the earlier levitating tiles dropped heavily back to their original place, Vegeta lowered his head and sent a death glare at Toppo. In a flash of blinding speed, Vegeta kicked off the arena to unleash a flurry of relentless but potent attacks towards Toppo without any words.
Huh? Prince Vegeta has changed,
King Sen commented, seeing how Vegeta's black hair flashed yellow and his eyes changed color. Saiyans have the ability to power up and transform, Shin can explain to his childlike master. Although I believe this is the first time I've seen this after a long time. I think it had already been 3,000 years since the legendary Super Saiyan had last appeared in the same universe. Now I understand why he's hailed as a prodigy among his people.
Really? Legendary Super Saiyan? That's so cool! It's like a superhero name,
King Sen giggled happily. Down below, Toppo, who was initially being overpowered due to his surprise at the unexpected transformation his opponent just performed right in front of him, began to power up as well. It allowed him to effortlessly block all Vegeta's attacks with his massive hands and forearms. Is this all the chosen one from the 7th universe could offer? If that's all, then I guess it is time for me to attack. Don't get cocky. Toppo attacked this time, sending Vegeta a continuous barrage of orange-colored ki bullets. The Super Saiyan tried to block, but soon he found himself being pushed back by the blast. Having himself on a pinch, Vegeta powered up once more. Blue electricity snapped off his golden aura, and each golden strand of his hair stood straight on its end, causing his hair to stiffen in a single direction instead of a flowing flame array. He leaped out the trajectory by phasing out, but Toppo easily saw his movement and followed him. The two exchanged blows in the air.
Huh? Did Vegeta transform again? Something changed in him. It doesn't look much, but his power as a Super Saiyan skyrocketed a lot,
He then commented. Vegeta found that none of his attacks were working on Toppo any longer. Could tell that his opponent was powering up as well, but doesn't do anything like charging his aura or doing any battle cry like what he does. Vegeta wondered if Toppo was utilizing that technique once trying to teach him. Same technique he applied when he first mastered Super Saiyan Blue, where one must not leak his aura out of his body while powering up. Vegeta sneered and he moved away from Toppo. Keeping his distance, Toppo chased him across the room. Escaping from Toppo, King Saiyan realized that he's no match for him. Kai, the Kaishin from the 11th universe, commented. Of course, quite obvious that Toppo had more fighting experience than him. Perhaps it wasn't that long since Beerus started training. He doesn't even have any godly power in him. Master, my character, the guide angel of Hakaishin Dharma said. Just pretend I was a female voice. What else do you guys expect from an impure Saiyan brat, judging by his attitude alone? Do not ever possess godly power, Balmont snorted. Vegeta growled in his annoyance, hearing the comments from the 11th universe. Why are these imprudent guards being so sure of themselves? They're getting on his nerves. Vegeta decided to fly in the direction of the representatives of the 11th universe. And while doing so, he started to concentrate within himself and control his ki. He closed his eyes, called forth the necessary ki meant to unlock a far superior dimension of power compared to that in Super Saiyan force. Once he was right in front of Belmont, Kai, and Basarita. Crimson red divine ki began to erupt from Vegeta and spun around his body in an upwards direction until it reached his billowing flame-shaped hair, changing its color from blonde to red from its roots up to the tips. Soon as the fire engulfed his body completely, higher mood changed. And then red hot flames burst throughout the arena, creating maelstroms of fire and with Vegeta at its center. Vegeta's hair was dyed in red light. Below him, Toppo was suddenly thrown backward by the shockwave the Super God had realized. He stared in shock at Vegeta, who was now learning off a completely different key. Way up above the arena, King Zen let out a long gasp of astonishment at what he just witnessed. Vegeta opened his red eyes and stared down at the gods who called him impure before he shifted his cold gaze towards Toppo. This is, Era gasped, the presence and the power of a god, Hillis confirmed. Yes, that's it, Vegeta. Show us the power of Super Saiyan God, Beerus cheered. Did Beerus just say Super Saiyan God? Champa asked his guide angel Vados. What a boring name, Patella spat in his interest. Super Saiyan God, huh? That's interesting, Bashinkan smiled. Possible! How could someone with such impure heart have the power of a god? Belmont denied, questioning Vegeta's purity of heart all the way. Vegeta answered his question. My heart is exceptionally pure. My goals and intentions in life are clear. I have dedicated my entire life in pursuance of finding out what lies beyond my current strength. I trained hard every single day to reach where I am now. And all these I did for a single goal. And what goal is that? An oath I made to myself. What oath are you talking about? Vegeta gave him a smirk. That is none of your concern. Vegeta descended back to the arena where Toppo waited. So, you've been holding back this entire time, Toppo said. I never liked holding back, but I had to because I needed that exact timing so I could teach that cotton boss of yours a lesson, Vegeta admitted. I'm glad that you indeed possess the power of a god. I can finally use godly power against you as well, Toppo declared, powering up and engulfing himself in the aura of a god. Very well, let's start to fight seriously. Flexed his arms on his sides, and with a short yell, Vegeta instantly transformed to Super Saiyan Blue, causing everyone's jaw to drop. Another transformation! How many times is he going to power up and transform his body? Belmont gasped in complete disbelief. Can't believe this. Power seems bottomless. He got awed. Beerus was laughing from where he stood. Look at that voice. Everyone is so shocked. Indeed, my lord. Look at his majesty. He is enjoying the show. This is all I've got, Tubbo. Prepare yourself, Vegeta declared. Tubbo responded. You can expect that. Two fighters fell into their signature fighting stances and disappeared from the ring, leaving streaks of blue and white lights on their path. Powerful shockwaves shook the place with every hit they unleashed at one another. Vegeta noticed that Tubbo had power-up while increasing his speed. He followed him up into the sky. Tubbo unleashed several rapid punches in the air, each one causing air bursts that pushed Vegeta back until he plummeted back to the ring. Nice one, Tubbo! Continue doing that and you will win! Belmont cheered. Technique that Jiren taught Tubbo is extremely powerful. The speed at which Tubbo moves his fists and manipulates the air and pressure around him is extraordinary. Once you get hit, you won't be able to defend yourself, Margarita said. Beerus growled, feeling a little pissed. Turned to his protege and shouted, Vegeta, return to your Super Saiyan God state and use your ki to counter the air bursts. Following Beerus' instruction, Vegeta's blue eyes flashed red, and his aura changed color from blue to crimson in an instant. With a godly roar, the arena burst into flames once more. Using his ki, Vegeta pushed the air burst back at Tubbo, who quickly dodged out of the way of the balls of fire. His early attacks turned heat. The flames dispersed until it disappeared completely, and the two fighters stared into each other. Vegeta charged at Tubbo much quicker than earlier when he was at Super Saiyan Blue, much to Tubbo's surprise. In his desperation, Tubbo unleashed another flurry of air-burst punches, but this time, Vegeta had managed to break his defenses. What? Tubbo gasped in total shock as he felt Vegeta's fist smash into his solar plexus. I couldn't believe what just happened. What the? Nobody had ever managed to break through that kind of attack. Vegeta smirked. This is why you do not underestimate a Saiyan's capabilities. Easy, she said in utter astonishment. Whis smiled proudly at his student. Vegeta has a great observation ability and exceptional memory and thinking. He carefully observed Tubbo's high-speed movements, memorized the patterns the moment he saw them, and allowed this information to control his movements so he could dodge the attacks. Aside from that, his utilization of both Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue back and forth to conserve his power caused the element of surprise for Tubbo. Utilize both forms, she asked. Yes, he is a Super Saiyan God when he moves around and he instantly transforms into Super Saiyan Blue the moment he attacks, he explained. Does this mean he has an advantage? No, not yet. I am afraid Tubbo is still playing around. He hasn't used his full power yet. You got me there, Saiyan, Tubbo chuckled. I admire your talents. I can see now why Beerus-sama considered you a prodigy. You are a genius. I do not need your praise, Vegeta snorted. Tubbo's expression suddenly changed into a serious one. No, I'm afraid that after taking on that last attack, your power has depleted that much, and you had to return to your previous form to conserve your energy. I'm afraid that this is over. Vegeta felt something was odd about Tubbo's changing demeanor. What do you mean by that? You mentioned that you already gave me everything you have in that blue-haired form of yours, correct? If that is the strongest form you have, that I can say that you aren't trained to utilize the power of destruction yet. So what if I'm not? Vegeta demanded harshly. I see, just as I thought, Toppo said. This fight is over, I'm afraid. So, are you giving up? No, if I should warn you, you should be the one who must give up, because once I unleash this power, I will be unstoppable. Vegeta gritted his teeth, feeling insulted. How dare this piece of trash suggest that he, the Prince of all Saiyans, give up during a battle, especially a battle where his pride is at stake. Are you crazy? Just quit your yapping and show me this power of destruction. Wait, what is Toppo trying to say? Beerus wondered out loud. Belmont gave him a chuckle as he responded to the question. So it seems that you haven't trained your monkey pet to the role yet, Beerus. What the hell? I can't believe just how lazy you are. I feel bad for the Saiyan. Beerus scowled before he furiously yelled back. What did you just say, Belmont? Belmont gave him a crazy smile. It's over, Beerus. Your proud little Vegeta is going to be destroyed by Toppo, and there's nothing that he could do about it. Beerus was about to open his mouth when he felt a terrifying key being released in the arena. He quickly turned his head back to the arena, feeling anxious for Vegeta as he found Toppo had unleashed a dense, dark purple aura around him. Starting to power up, King Zen was amazed at the amount of godly destructive power Toppo was unleashing. Feel it! This is the power of a god of destruction! Beerus gasped in horror as he watched Toppo's already massive body undergo a physical transformation that made him grow bigger, ripping his upper clothing apart with his aura alone. His eyes glowed a purple light. His caramel-colored skin began to darken, and glowing red circles and diamond symbols appeared on his chiseled chest. The mighty shockwaves of energy Toppo was unleashed were pushing Vegeta backward. The prince tried to keep himself from being thrown back. He watched in terror as he found Toppo's new form and felt the power almost similar to that of Beerus being harnessed by his massive enemy. Behold the birth of Hakaishin Toppo, declared Belmont. Oh shit, Vegeta, Beerus screamed. Surrender! You cannot fight someone with the power of destruction. You're going to be destroyed. Beerus' words caused an uproar through the crowd, but Beerus didn't care. What is he saying? So Beerus hasn't trained the brat to use the power of destruction yet? He's finished. Nothing can go against the power of destruction. Hearing the god speaking these things, Vegeta felt even angry. No! He fiercely refused to follow his master's order. This is my first time encountering such a strong and heavy ki. I cannot give up here. Are you crazy? Forget about your pride. It's all useless if your existence gets destroyed right here, Beerus yelled. Shut up and let me fight. I can still do this, Vegeta retorted. I'm telling you that you cannot go against the power of destruction. It can obliterate anything in an instant. Vegeta remained as stubborn as he could. I know that. Just shut up and watch me. I know I need this and I can win. Beerus was so annoyed he looked like he will have a hypertension attack soon. Damn it, Vegeta. You and your stupid pride! Whis, why don't you say something to him, huh? Guy Angel shook his head with disapproval. It's futile, Beerus-sama. You know very well that once Vegeta had set his mind on something, he will remain stubborn and will never listen to any reason. Plus, his pride is at stake here. Why don't we just watch and see how he's planning to fight back? Calmly suggested. Beerus grumbled in defeat and childishly pouted as he crossed his arms over his chest. We stared at him with a doubting look. What happened to that faith you said you had about him? Asked. I didn't expect that damn Toppo to have already mastered the power of destruction. I haven't taught Vegeta anything about it yet. That's why I'm worried, Beerus mumbled. Oh, I see. Beerus turned away and huffed awkwardly. Don't get the wrong idea, Whis. I'm worried about my reputation if Vegeta gets defeated here due to his damn stupid pride. Not that I care if he gets erased or not. Whatever you say, my lord, Beerus screamed. Hey! What does that mean? We simply giggled back. Why don't we just watch the fight and see what happens? Whatever. Down below, Toppo, now in his new powered-up state, advised Vegeta. I will listen to your master if I were you. If you haven't learned how to use the power of destruction yet, then you have no chance of defeating me at this form at all. No! Vegeta stubbornly told him. You may have a clear advantage against me with your knowledge on using the power of destruction. However, that doesn't mean that I will lose to you. What? Toppo raised his eyebrow, giving the Saiyan a weird look. Champa laughed. What a fool! He's too blinded by his pride he cannot even see straight. I feel bad for him for being this desperate. How sad. Your overinflated sense of pride has left you unable to accept the truth, Toppo commented with a melancholic expression. Vegeta snorted. Maybe you are right about that, but then, so long as I can keep fighting, that means there is a chance that I will win. You see, this is what I love about battle. The outcome could change in any given circumstance. You never know. What's up? What's up with Vegeta? Beerus asked me. I didn't expect him to come up with his own philosophy like that. We smiled beside him. Perhaps he has learned a very important lesson. Toppo exclaimed. Then I'll show you how powerless you are against the power of destruction. He went to charge at Vegeta with powerful hits that had beaten the prince to a pulp. Vegeta never felt such heavy attacks before. It felt as if he was getting crushed, beaten like a helpless ragdoll, bringing him closer to death inch by inch. It reminded him of the days when he was being tortured by Hazy, the cruelty he suffered under Frieza's grasp. He tried to fight back to defend himself, but it's all futile against the overwhelming strength of his opponent. Beerus told him several times to surrender, but Vegeta won't do it. He was adamant in his belief that he can still fight, despite the obvious fact that he was utterly defenseless. The brutal blows and injuries he acquired from Toppo's relentless attacks. I can still do this, Vegeta insisted, panting heavily. Even after he was hurled face first to the ground, he couldn't stand anymore. His fingers twitched as he willed himself to move. Up above him, the Shinken started counting. Vegeta forced himself to move, using his forearms to push himself up. It was extremely difficult. By the count of 5, Vegeta falls back to the floor. He tried to pick himself again, this time using his shaking arms to pull himself up. And he crawled until he was on his knees, stood up with his trembling legs, panting heavily. He flinched when he found his vision blurring, but he shook his head and told himself that he would not lose. How is he still standing after all that? Wondered Ivan.
How persistent.
Toppo should knock him out for good, Margarita said. While I admire his resistance and willpower, I'm afraid he's done for, I lamented. This is going to be the end for you, Toppo said in a deep, cold voice. He held up his right arm and charged a dark, purple orb filled with destructive energy. Behind him, Beerus screamed, "Oh no! Run, Vegeta!" Vegeta ignored Beerus and instead braced himself for the attack. Destruction! Toppo yelled as he fired his attack towards the Saiyan. Akai! Vegeta took the spear head on, his hands catching the spear of destruction. Oops! Skidded backward with an unbelievable speed as the force of the spear pushed him. He put his hands over the dangerous orb and began to push it inwardly, attempting to reduce the spear of destruction into a smaller but denser ball. The orb obliterated his gloves, upper clothing, and his armor to smithereens, yet he refused to be destroyed by this thing. This is unacceptable. I will not allow this to happen. I will not be destroyed here and now. I will not. I still have what it takes to fight this. I will show them. I'll show them all what a true Saiyan is capable of. Vegeta repeatedly told himself that he would not be destroyed here. That determination seemed to give him some kind of boost in strength. With a loud battle cry, he roared and squeezed the spear of destruction with his fingers. The ball erupted into heaps of energy to send him flying backward and hitting the side rail of the ring. What the? Everyone gasped as they stared at Vegeta, who was reverted to his normal form, with puzzled looks wondering how he survived that attack without his existence being destroyed entirely. While the other gods couldn't understand or were questioning themselves, King Zen and Dai Shinken smiled pleasantly. They were both impressed by whatever Vegeta did and how he managed to survive from being destroyed by the power of destruction. What happened? How did he convert the energy of destruction into heaps of energy? Asked Jin. Right? This could it be? Beerus muttered in disbelief. Could it be what? Beerus just turned to him with a knowing look, which simply crooked light purple lips into a smirk. Unlike the others who had no idea what Vegeta did to prevent himself from being destroyed, Beerus knew exactly what it was. Saw Vegeta apply a similar technique to destruction, destroying Toppo's attack. How? He had never trained the Saiyan Prince on how to use the power of destruction yet. Could it be that Vegeta? He gasped, but his thoughts were interrupted by Champa yelling at him. Hey, Beerus! Do you mind explaining to us what happened? We've never seen a mortal survive from being destroyed by the spear of destruction. Surely this isn't just some lucky shot. You said you never trained him on how to use the power of destruction. What happened here? Champa said, pointing at the ring. Beerus gave his twin brother a perplexed look. I have no idea. Why are you asking me, Champa? Because you are his master. I don't know. Ask him if you want. The quarrel was interrupted when Vegeta started laughing like a madman. The sound started as a giggle that intensified into a boisterous, maniacal cackle. Toppo landed a foot in front of Vegeta, staring down at him with a cautious look. Hey, you! What have you done? Toppo asked. Vegeta screeched, stopping himself from that crazed laughter. He turned his head to look at Toppo. Good question. How should I know? He hissed. Have you been lying to us about not knowing anything about the power of destruction? Is there a reason for me to lie about it? You said it yourself, and I admitted that Beerus-sama never trained you. It is true. There was an uproar from the gods. Some say he was feigning ignorance. Others say he just got lucky. Some others doubted his claims. Peter didn't care. He shakily picked himself off the cracked railing of the ring with more difficulty than before, but still managed to do it. He hissed once more when he realized just how much damage he received from that last attack. His vision was already blurred earlier, then he was nauseous and dizzy. He flinched for a moment before letting out an amused chuckle, raising his eyes to meet Toppo's glowing, purple, cat-like irises once more. You know, it has been a long time since I've fought someone like this. Fighting you felt good. He smiled. Toppo saw the change in his demeanor. The cold and uncaring Saiyan from earlier was beginning to open up something. You're a tough bastard, I give you that. And it's damn frustrating to know that you are more skilled and stronger than I am. I'm sure that you have been training to become a god of destruction for a far longer time than I have. I'm glad to be able to fight someone who doesn't hold back his attacks. What are you laughing about? Toppo asked. Said you are glad to fight me because I wasn't holding back. Yeah, sparring with Beerus-sama and Whis always felt like training, even if I was giving them my all. Despite training with such extremely powerful beings, I was never satisfied because of the knowledge that they were holding back on me. I don't like it. It was unsatisfying. That's why there were times when I thought I was only wasting my time, despite the improvements I have gained throughout the years. I understand where you're going, Toppo said. But then, do you know the reason why you aren't satisfied at all? Yeah, it's about my Saiyan blood, Ina answered. By Saiyan blood, you mean your inner Saiyan instinct? Yes, Vegeta said. I was raised on my home planet as a warrior prince meant to fight and conquer. I always believed that power is everything, and so I pursued greater strength. During my early childhood days before Beerus took me in, I had fought countless battles across the galaxy, some of which until I lost my kingdom. I have fought valiantly and risked my own life, fighting a powerful opponent who doesn't hold anything back. Me being pushed to the edge of my limits, putting everything, even my own life on the line in a battle with such an uncertain outcome. That is the greatest joy a Saiyan warrior could ever feel. Lately, I have been losing sight of things that made me who I am, because I'd never fought like this again in a very long time. The battle has brought me to my happy place, a battle where I can fight with all I have and be challenged without worrying about anything. I can feel my Saiyan blood boil with excitement, just as in the old days. I feel so great right now. Toppo snorted. Wrong. This is not about you being just a fighting maniac. The reason why you are unsatisfied is that you are too attached to your Saiyan pride. I admit I have no idea why or what or how much it means to you, and I couldn't care less about it. Keep on talking about your pride. For me, it is nothing but a ridiculous and useless thing. You carry unnecessary burdens on your shoulders. If you keep on doing that, you will never beat me. Nor will you be enough to wield the power of destruction. As if Toppo's words were like sharp knives that stabbed his heart, Vegeta was stunned. What? Take me, for instance. I have thrown away everything that is unnecessary. Consider yourself power is everything, and everything else that isn't power is nothing but a delusion for the weak. Your pride, your emotions, and your attachments, all these unnecessary things you cling to, are your greatest weaknesses, and therefore will cause your downfall. As long as you hold on to these things, You will never become a god of destruction. An arrogant fool like yourself will never defeat. Those words hit Vegeta so hard, he wasn't able to protect himself from the punch Toppo threw at his face. Vegeta was sent flying backward, crashing into his back on the side of one of the floating rocks where the representatives of the second universe stayed. Goddess of destruction Helios, guide angel Sawat, and god of creation Hell stepped a little closer to the edge to see Vegeta stuck in the crater created by his impact. The three were the kindest of all representatives and were the first to feel bad for Vegeta in his way. Is he unconscious? Asked Pell anxiously. Toppo's words broke through Vegeta's spirit and he wasn't getting up? Oh boy, he was so shocked knowing that his ideals were being challenged and questioned. He's already taken massive damage from whatever he did to the Hakai energy earlier, and it seems that his spirit is broken too. I wonder what he's going to do now. The fight is over. He cannot go on. Let's help him. Yeah. They would have gone down to help the Saiyan when they suddenly heard his cracked voice down below. They halted from their kind attempt as they heard him say repeatedly, I. What's this? Still has more to him? Vegeta's head slumps forward, and he started murmuring in a deep, cold voice. I never wanted to become a god of destruction. So his words caused a chorus of gasps within the crowd. The guards shot their confused glares between Beerus and Vegeta, some wondering what he meant by that. As if to answer the question, Vegeta continued. I only wanted to pursue greater strength in order to break my limits and to become stronger than what I am. My acceptance of the position had nothing to do with a desire to become a god. Because I know that by becoming a god of destruction, I could have access to new levels of strength that no ordinary mortals could attain. I have lost almost everything when Beerus ordered Frieza to destroy my kingdom, my Saiyan pride, my weakness as you called it, was the only thing that remained, and it meant everything to me. It meant all of who I am. It's the reason why I kept going, moving forward, pushing myself to overcome every obstacle to reach where I am now. I would not abandon my ideals for a stupid reason such as playing God. An enraged Vegeta snapped, his eyes wide open, and a burst of energy suddenly exploded around him, instantly transforming him into Saiyan Blue. Dora had blown off the rock behind him, freeing him from being trapped in the crater. The force of his instantaneous transformation pushed the second universe's representative to step back. What? Vegeta glared at Toppo down below. You bastards kept on calling me arrogant. Yes, I am arrogant. That's precisely what Saiyan pride meant for me. Your opinion will never change it. His aura swelled up even more, surprising everyone watching. You said I cannot defeat you. You called my ideals my weaknesses and my downfall. Don't mess with me. Underestimating a Saiyan will be your gravest mistake. I will never abandon the things that made me who and what I am. I will defeat you in my own way, and I do not need the power of destruction to do so. Vegeta began to power up with a lengthening roar. The guards all looked on with astonished expressions. They could not believe what they were all sensing. Vegeta's ki continued to build up, stronger than it was a moment ago. Just as they all thought he had already fought well, all he had and had lost a considerable amount of power from the damage he was at. It seemed that the Saiyan was growing stronger because of it. What's this? His power is increasing much higher than it was before. Is this even possible? Thermod gasped. Got to be kidding me! Who's already been in and out of power just now? Shempa screamed. Power feels unreal for just a mortal, and he keeps on growing like it's bottomless. Well, Vegeta's a Saiyan after all, he said, and Saiyans are known to exhibit untold power whenever they are pushed to their limits. Topo's words must have triggered something within him, thus allowing him to awaken this much power within himself. Vegeta was engulfed by a burning inferno of blue energy that kept on growing and growing with every second. I will not allow you damn gods to look down on me any further. How dare you call my ideals chains and weights? I'm going to prove you all wrong. I will never lose to a prideless fool who cannot fight for what he strongly believed. I'm going to break through my limits in my own way, without throwing anything aside. And when I do, I will defeat you and show you your proper place, Topo. These determined forces burned within Vegeta's mind and his heart, causing his Super Saiyan blue aura to puff outwardly. It began to flow out of his body like billowing smoke, slowly darkening into a deep royal blue color. The energy had gradually healed all his injuries, utilizing spirit control regeneration to do so. Once his body was fully healed, this triggered the unique ability of the Saiyans to grow exponentially stronger every time they survived near fatal damage. Using spirit control once more, he called forth the new massive boost of power he just gained, and that's when he felt his body undergo an intense transformation. He braced himself for the transformation. His hair began to flash with a blue glow, and he squinted his eyes due to the pain of the change happening in his body. He screamed in agony as he felt his muscles gradually swell, causing him to grow larger than his normal mass. Injuries are healed and he's evolving even further, yes. His body is transforming, overwhelmed by the amount of energy he is concentrating and releasing. With a snap, he flashed his eyes open. Fiery blue eyes blazed with a blue fire, and he threw his head back to let out a mighty roar into the sky. He spoke like dark blue aura, burst upwards and exploded into a blinding light. The light faded, Vegeta appeared in his new form. He was noticeably bigger than his normal form due to the increased muscle mass. His hair had a darker blue hue, bigger and spikier. Pointing outwards, his irises were a deep blue color around black dilated pupils. Aura was also larger and had a denser nature to it. Badass. Right. Indeed. He underwent another transformation? This is insane, Eric marveled. I didn't know he's hiding this much power the entire time, Beerus told Whis. No, my lord. Vegeta was already fighting at his full strength a moment ago. His rising power is driven by Vegeta's ideals. His pride and his anger of being questioned and insulted have burned his fighting spirit, setting it ablaze and making him stronger. Whis explained. He knew that Topo is much more powerful than he is, and that he stood no chance with his current strength. He refused to surrender because he knows what he's going to do. He had willingly allowed Turbo to beat him to the inch of his life, and used his learnings on planet Yadrid to utilize the unique ability of the Saiyans to grow exponentially more powerful than before every time they fight and survive near fatal damage. You understand now why he wasn't listening to you. Oh yeah. I didn't know. Why the hell didn't you tell me that earlier, Whis? Goodness, Vegeta's such a genius, Beerus muttered. His surprise immediately was replaced with excitement, and he suddenly shouted to the ring, cheering for his protege. Go, Vegeta! Show us the true power of the Saiyans! This fight goes on, then he might have another one, Belmont grunted in annoyance. Toppo, finish this already! Don't let him tap another burst of power! Go and destroy him with a more powerful Hakai! Belmont roared. Toppo nodded and decided to follow his master's command. He raised his arms in the air above him, powered up, and charged a huge ball of Hakai energy from his hands. No matter how strong you have become with that transformation of yours, you will never get another lucky shot to survive this. I put all my powers of destruction in this spear. You're finished, Toppo announced. Vegeta descended in front of Toppo without any word. Aren't you going to say anything at all? Like last words or something? Where's your arrogance from earlier gone to? Or has Terra made you realize that despite your new power, you won't stand a chance? Finally getting serious, Beerus said, thrilled on what's about to happen, that his student finally decided to stop playing games. And he knew that a serious Vegeta during a battle meant something dangerous was about to happen. Vegeta simply braced himself by setting his feet apart to show a link, flexing his arms on the side before crossing his forearms right in front of his chest. Is he planning to block that much power of destruction just as he did earlier? The girl wondered. Then, like a bird spreading his wings, Vegeta thrust his arms open on his sides, hands held vertically and fingers wide. In each palm, concentrated ki began to gather into a spear. Both emitted sporadic bolts of yellow bio that shot in all directions. Planning to block it with his ki. That won't do. It will only get nullified by the power of destruction. Bliss gasped. Wasting his energy instead of just running away or giving up, Go uttered in a bored manner, shaking his head in the disinterest. The battle he was sure Toppo would win by now. Vegeta combined the two spears into one in front of him. Palms together and fingers curled. The fused power caused lightning to explode around him. Destruction! Toppo exclaimed as he fired his gigantic ball of destruction energy towards Vegeta's direction. Final Flash! Vegeta roared before a burst of blinding light erupted from his aura, and a massive golden blast engulfed with blue electric charges exploded from his hands and shot towards the upcoming orb of destruction. It was a clash of purple and a mix of blue and gold energy. As soon as the final flash hit the spear of destruction, the front of the key blast quickly turned into fire. It's no use, Toppo declared. Just surrender to your defeat, Saiyan! Vegeta sneered in annoyance. All of a sudden, he opened his mouth to let out a continuous but powerful roar, calling forth more of his ki to power up his attack more. With a burst of energy, the final flash intensified, erupting into a colossal blast that quickly overpowered the now seemingly powerless spear of destruction, completely decimating Topo's attack and shooting towards Topo, who let out a helpless cry as the final flash overwhelmed him. The blast burst forth. The excessive energy shook the entire place, the bright light blinding everyone for several moments, causing even the guards to let out a horrified screams, except that of King Zen, who was squealing in awe. Vegeta let go and ended the final flash with a last burst of his ki. The smoke cleared and revealed Topo's severely burned body, unconscious and unmoving. Did Vegeta kill him? Gasped Rimushi. He's a monster! He's Saiyans are true beasts! Belmont cried out. Despite the outrage of the guards, Vegeta simply stared at Topo. The guy tried to destroy him out of his existence, and these damn guards called him a monster for defending himself and thinking he killed the one who threatened and insulted him. He just couldn't believe their nerves.
Is Topo dead? Did Vegeta kill him? This is the problem if he accidentally killed him in this match. Kaishin, please check on him, King Zen ordered his attendant. Hearing King Zen's words, Beerus, Shin, and Whis immediately grew anxious. What does he mean by that? Does that mean that if Vegeta had accidentally killed Topo, he'll pay? Or would the four of them be punished? Or would the entire 7th universe suffer? As you wish, Majesty, Daishinkan said. He sent next to Topo and checked his vitals to see if he's dead. Representatives from both the 7th and 11th universes waited anxiously for him. Daishinkan straightened and raised his hand in the air. This match is over. Prince Vegeta from the 7th universe wins via knockout. There was complete silence from the crowd until Beerus let out a scream before cackling boisterously and jumping around. Yes! He excitedly jumped into the arena, followed by Whis and Shin. Quickly grabbed Vegeta in his arms, shaking him and hugging him like a proud father to his most adored son. You see that? I told you my Vegeta's worthy. He defeated that guy on his own. Did you see his power? Ha! You're all surprised, aren't you? As His Majesty said, do not judge a book by its cover. Now he will never underestimate any of one of us ever again, Beerus proudly stated. Belmont, Kai, and Margarita went to Topo's side. The beautiful guide angel instantly healed Topo with the magical power of her angelic scepter. Topo rose and quickly apologized to Belmont for the humiliation he had given his master. It's okay, Topo. You did everything you could, Belmont smiled at him, proud that his student had grown as a fighter. They turned to look at the side of the representative from the 7th universe, and watched as Beerus showed Vegeta off like he was some trophy, and he was the one who did all the fighting. Vegeta was giving Beerus a weird look, trying to pull himself away from the overjoyed god, looking like he was silently wishing for anyone to save him from this crazy deity. I can see where his pride and arrogance were coming from, Belmont said. Beerus was right when he said the Saiyan is a genius, an incredible mortal warrior. While I did not expect him to have this much potential, I was proven wrong about my judgment. I still believe that he won't become an effective god of destruction, but the fact that he said that he doesn't want to become one. Oh yes, we'll have a proper discussion about that. Let me have a word with them first, Daishinkan said. He approached the 7th universe representative. Beerus finally let Vegeta go and he bowed to his knees before the Grand Priest. The action was followed by Shin and Whis when Beerus found Vegeta gaping at the Grand Priest. Beerus pulled him down, forcing him to kneel. Vegeta dropped his transformation and glared at Beerus, but Beerus kissed back at him. Prince Vegeta, I would like to congratulate you for winning the match.
I'm sure that His Majesty is very well pleased with your performance during battle. He had been cheering happily the entire time. Thank you, Vegeta muttered, as if he was talking to the floor instead of Daishinkan. But there is something that you mentioned during the fight that we need to discuss, and it's a matter of importance. Is it true that you never wanted to become a god of destruction? Yes, everything that I said during the battle is true. Oh, this is interesting. And you also mentioned that you only accepted to be trained to become one because of your pursuance of strength. Is that correct? Yes. Indeed, this is a problem, Daishinkan said. He turned to Beerus. Do you know anything about this spirit? Beerus hesitated at first, but decided to answer honestly. No, Grand Priest. Daishinkan turned his eyes to the guard angel. How about you, please? No, Father, was mentioned. Perhaps you have noticed that Vegeta's thoughts were impenetrable and he never opened up anything towards us. He started training him. Daishinkan returned his cold eyes towards Vegeta. So, how did you end up being trained by Beerus? Vegeta responded, I made a wish to have the powers of destruction, but I didn't want it to be given to me. I wanted Beerus somehow to teach me this power. He said that the technique is only for gods of destruction. So I made a contract with him that in exchange for this power, I must become his successor. You saw during the battle, still hasn't taught me anything but the powers of destruction. Ah, now I was beginning to understand why Beerus didn't teach you this power yet. The reasons for agreeing to take his position were pretty selfish and ambitious. Because of this, you had your doubts. Torn between your pride and ambition, King Zen suddenly interrupted. While I admire your power and prodigious capabilities, which is very unusual for a model, I think I'm going to agree with the other gods that you aren't suited to wield the power you are seeking, the position of becoming a destroyer god. If your heart is filled with selfishness, pride, and ambition, as Topo has said earlier, a true god of destruction doesn't need unnecessary things that would distract them from doing their duties properly. This is the reason why we do not just choose anyone based on physical power or capabilities alone. We needed someone who can let go of everything irrelevant to his future deity. So, what do you plan to do with him now, Your Majesty? Daishinkan asked the king. I don't know. You cannot have an unqualified mortal to continue his training with a god of destruction. We've never dealt with anything like this before, so I have no idea. I was thinking of destroying both him, Beerus, and Shin for this. Beerus and Shin stiffened with terror while Vegeta's head shot up towards King Zen with wide, shocked eyes. No! You cannot do that! Vegeta yelled. Everyone glowered in Vegeta's direction angrily. Daishinkan cleared his throat. Prince Vegeta, you should know better than to speak to His Majesty in that manner. Destroy me! This is my fault. Leave Beerus and Shin or even Whis out of this. I was the one who made the wish and agreed to the contract. They have no knowledge of any of my true intentions. You may destroy me as you wish. Just please, not them. Pleaded. King Zen's jaw dropped upon seeing how he had elicited such an unexpected response from the prince. Are you really that willing to give up your existence for them? I take responsibility for all my mistakes. I believe that I am the reason why this mess happened in the first place. King Zen's eyes were cold and expressionless. He raised his left hand and formed a bright spear of omni-godly energy. Vegeta could tell it was somehow similar to a Kai. Then brought the dangerous spear closer to Vegeta. The prince gritted his teeth, shaking at the thought of him being destroyed here. In the end, he didn't like this feeling of fearing for his own life, but he was one who never go back to his word. If this is his punishment for his so-called foolishness, the only way for him to defend those close to him who might get destroyed because of him, he stood his ground. And brief reprieve. Be back just in a second. Apologies, kind of leaving it a cliffhanger like that, but it was like an urgent matter I had to attend to. Fear touched his chest. The white energy completely engulfed him. Peter squinted his eyes, bracing himself for the end. But it didn't come. When he opened his eyes, he realized that King Zen clothed him with the same clothes he had before the battle began. Saiyan royal armor, complete with his red cape. He looked down on himself, bewildered. King Zen laughed at his expression, a childish, cheerful sound that could be compared to the sound of bells.
Now, that is one selfless act I would like to see.
Smiled. Huh?
It was a test. You don't have to worry. I was just kidding around. I have acknowledged your potential. I've never seen such prospective talent as promising as yours, and I wouldn't want it to be wasted. That is why I'm willing to give you a second chance to rethink your decision about becoming the god of destruction of the seventh universe.
These words, Beerus and Shin were both relieved. Everybody else was stunned that the king of old had given a rare second chance to a mortal, and he praised it.
You take your time to rethink your decision, but please do not take too much time. If my counterpart finds out about this, there won't be any second chances at all.
King Zen said that. Beerus and Shin stiffened once more. This time, they trembled in obvious fear. If I may interrupt your Majesty, I would like to assure you that Vegeta will do as you expected of him real soon, he said. Vegeta turned his head to the guide angel, puzzled by his words and the way he stuttered. He had never seen Whis that afraid of anyone ever.
Really?
King Zen asked with a wide grin. Whis raised his hand. If you wish, I shall relay to you an assurance.
Okay, come here, let me see.
King Zen beckoned the guide angel to come to his side. Whis stood up and levitated towards the King of All, who held up his hand with a smile. And the King of All froze. He turned his blank eyes towards Vegeta and murmured something Vegeta didn't understand at all, but caused the rest around him to shoot their heads in a direction with utterly stunned gazes due to their disbelief. Confused and annoyed that he was being stared at, Vegeta lowered his head. What the hell was Whis trying to show that colorful brat? Soon, he could hear murmurs from the other gods. He didn't understand a thing, and Vegeta felt disrespected about it. Were they talking about him in a language he doesn't even understand? What were they talking about?
I see.
Then told Whis, still smiling. Whis returned to where his comrades were.
Okay then, we're done here. Thank you very much for coming today. I appreciate it. I will have the Grand Priest send you all a gift as thank you for your time. Until next time. Oh, Prince Vegeta and Toppo, I look forward to seeing you again as new gods of destruction, I hope. Bye-bye!
With that, King Zen disappeared to thin air. As soon as he's gone, everyone finally relaxed. That was close. Thought I was going to be destroyed in there. King almost cried as Kabuto approached him. Saved us all, Whis. If anything, it's your Gengyo who saved you, not me, he told him. Yo, I can't believe a saint from our universe will. Beerus elbowed Shin to stop him from saying anything more. Shin flinched and apologized quickly. He turned to see Vegeta was looking at an open face, a blank look. Vegeta looked like he was trying to listen to the murmurs, feeling lost that he was the odd one out. Saw how everyone stared in his direction, either contempt or disbelief in their faces. Was his effort in this battle not proof enough for them to believe what he's capable of? He wondered if he had something to do with what Toppo and King Zen said about his incapability to let go of his principles. Gritted his teeth together. He cannot take it any longer. Vegeta, are you coming or not? Beerus called, distracting him from his thoughts. Let's go home. We have something to discuss. Vegeta stiffened. He realized that Beerus and Whis must be displeased about what he did in there, but he will be punished for his insolence and the humiliation he gave them here. Forget about winning the battle with Toppo. He had embarrassed their dignity right in front of everyone. Vegeta visibly whimpered and slowly approached Beerus and Whis, tail in between his legs, like a child who was caught stealing cookies by his parents. Without any word, Beerus and Whis grabbed either side of his shoulders, causing him to shriek. Suddenly, the surroundings changed back into his room. Shin had teleported them back into their world. Hataka! Whis and Beerus let his shoulders go, but Vegeta didn't move at all. He was like a statue with how stiff he was due to his fear of being scolded by both of them. Vegeta! Beerus called. Yes, Beerus-sama. Beerus shrieked, stuttering, giving into his fear. He sensed Beerus encircled him like a predator playing around with his prey before deciding to eat alive. When Beerus stopped right in front of him, glaring at him with an intimidating gaze, Vegeta pondered on how he should have just allowed Toppo's Akai spear to destroy him during the fight. Feared the wrath of an enraged Beerus more than losing his entire existence. Beerus put his hands over Vegeta's broad shoulders and stared at him eye to eye. Oath that you made with Whis. Let's ensure that you will do that soon. Huh? I want you to surpass not just me, but all the gods that you have met today, or even those you haven't met. I will make sure that you will be the one. You'll be the strongest and most feared among all. What's up with him? Vegeta wondered. Earlier this morning, Beerus was so mad when he learned from Whis about the oath he made, and now he's agreeing to it. Beerus suddenly shouted, "Let's make them regret underestimating us and the seventh universe." Vegeta finally relaxed after making sure that Beerus isn't going to destroy him here. And here I thought you're angry about me saying that I never wanted to become a god of destruction. I already told you when you were a child that you will never become an effective god of destruction, be capable enough to wield the godly powers of destruction properly, if you continue being self-centered and giving yourself such unnecessary burdens. I've expected that you didn't want to abandon your principles despite having the desire for more power. After all, you seem to be a pride incarnate. What Toppo and King Zen told you about how you can wield the powers of destruction, become an effective god of destruction, weren't entirely wrong. It is a common but misunderstood rule, even by deities themselves. I will teach you a different way on how you can master the power of destruction without you throwing away your Saiyan pride. I promise you that you are going to love it. Really? Is there such a way? Of course. That is exactly why I chose you, a Saiyan, to become my successor. Beautiful. Thoroughly beautiful. Reading the Power of Destruction, Chapter 8. After the unexpected meeting at the King of O's palace, Beerus, who was greatly insulted by the other gods, decides to support Vegeta's goal of surpassing all deities. Despite Vegeta's uncertainty about his decision to become Beerus' successor, his position, and his doubts about learning the powers of destruction, Beerus was determined that he will make an unstoppable force for the sake of tricks. Vegeta's training with Beerus to learn the power of destruction begins in the 8th part, its special backstory, telling the story of Vegeta's mortal life and how he becomes the god of destruction. Next time! Hope you enjoyed. On none other than your Iron Princedom! I'm not going to say the usual jizzle jazzle. Just, of course, appreciate you tuning in to the fine, fantastic, alternate story of what could have been. And thank you, special shout out, Heather Jason, for tuning in. And yes, you could do it. Till then, adieu from none other than your real life prince, Scarlet, whatever you want to see it as. Ta-ta! Good morning, evening, night, etc., etc.
光が燃え上がる愛する力を今見せてやる誰も奪えやしない Get a chance 俺のバイブレーション熱く限界を突き破れマジだぜスーパードラゴンソウル大地切り裂いてゆく戦うたびに強くなるぜ終わりなきバトルは命の限り続くこの手で守る愛を抱いて宇宙に証を立てろ目を閉じるな今受けて立つ恐怖を解き放て戦いの後に残されるのは虚しさと知ってても Get a chance 俺がぶち切りそうさ極限超えのエナジー炸裂スーパードラゴンソウル熱い奇跡を起こせ宇宙のパワー高めてゆけ魂の正義を誰も壊せやしない愛に満ちた命に触れたその手で未来を守れマジだぜスーパードラゴンソウル大地切り裂いてゆく戦うたびに強くなるぜ炸裂スーパードラゴンソウル熱い奇跡を起こせ宇宙のパワー高めてゆけ魂の正義を誰も壊せやしない愛に満ちた命に触れたその手で未来を守れ振り返るなもう許さない怒りが燃え上がる愛する力を今見せてやる誰も奪えやしない Get a chance 俺のバイブレーション熱く限界を突き破れマジだぜスーパードラゴンソウル大地切り裂いてゆく戦うたびに強くなるぜ終わりなきバトルは命 じっと目を閉じるな今受けて立つ恐怖を解き放て戦いの後